Group size can depend on its purpose. For example, groups of friends would likely be around 3 to 5 people, and a soccer team would be around 15 people. Small groups are interdependent. Interdependence is a state in which what happens to one person affects everyone else in the relationship, meaning what people do in a small group affects the other members around them. Interdependence doesn't mean members' influence is always positive on other members. It can affect people positively or negatively. Small groups are cohesive. Cohesion is when the members work together in the service of accomplishing a common goal. Small groups need cohesion to be effective, otherwise they won't accomplish anything. There are two types of cohesion: task cohesion and social cohesion. Task cohesion is the extent to which everyone in the group is working together towards the same objectives. Social cohesion is the level of positive regard group members have for one another. Small groups often enforce rules and norms. Small groups can have rules, which are more officially stated guidelines. They also have norms, which are more implicitly understood social practices. Small groups include individual roles. They each have specific roles to take on part of a task to reach an end goal. These roles can be officially stated as formal roles or happen naturally as informal roles. Small groups have their own identities. The relationship in small groups becomes an entity unto itself. Members then refer to themselves as we instead of I or you. So many small groups have shared experiences which cause the group to take on its own identity, whether it be how they dress, how they speak, and many other factors. Small groups have distinctive communication practices. Being able to communicate effectively with each other in a small group helps them accomplish their missions. There are 4 types of small group communication: problem-solving communication, role communication, consciousness-raising communication, and encounter communication. Problem-solving communication focuses on the details of how a small group can accomplish its task. Role communication relates to the formal and informal roles each member plays within the group. Consciousness-raising communication strengthens the group's identity and the morale of its members. Encounter communication describes the interpersonal interactions among group members. Small groups also often interact online. Due to the rise in the online world, the number of small groups who interact either primarily or exclusively online is increasing. Some do so because their members are located in different cities or countries. Others do so because interacting online can be more efficient. But the many different communicative methods that are available online, from emails to instant messaging, online communication allows members to send and respond to messages whenever and wherever they choose.
So I was talking about the functions of small groups, and I said there are many aspects to make sure that small groups are functioning properly. The first function that I found was just that small groups focus on discrete tasks, which just means that people work on specific tasks to help accomplish a goal. Small groups mainly focus on being organized because if things are unorganized, it makes things extremely difficult for them. Being organized just allows them to make easier decisions. I had an example, which was like if you were like part of a jury, you would have to hear every point of evidence before you make your final decision. Just to make sure that you make the right decision. The next function was that small groups evaluate and advise. All that is just when there's an issue at hand, you evaluate how big of a problem it may be. You examine it with each other, and you guys give advice within the group to find a solution. But even if you think after you find a solution, you guys, there's also focus groups. Focus groups are just people that you like a small group of people that you show your solution to, just to see how they feel about it and if it's the right decision, right path for you to go before you share it publicly with everybody else. The next function was that small groups also create art and come up with ideas to make sure it function properly. This is just a process of having like a brainstorming session so that all people in the group can come together and speak with one another. They can speak about their experiences and any solutions they think might work. And then after coming together, they make suggestions. And then after forming ideas, they use those ideas to, if they would work, to improve. And that helps them with their problem solving and also just makes things more efficient for them into the future. A very important part of small group functions is just to make sure that everyone is provided with service. And all that is just that small groups focus on their communities and any people that may need help. So, They help raise money in their communities, or make community centers, or just help people that have been affected by natural disasters. They also focus on mental and emotional health for people, people who have health concerns, or and they also don't discriminate any people. So if you had a disability, they would try to help you out in any way they can. But they make sure they have support groups for anybody that needs them, just so they can come and talk, share their feelings and emotions, to just to know that there are other people there for them for their emotional encouragement. Small groups always try to promote social networking. They just try to allow to make sure that people can always connect with each other. There are many social networking websites like Facebook or Snapchat, and they all have one goal, and that's just to help people connect with each other, whether it be in person or online. And sometimes, groups have certain interests or maybe demographics. My example was like a single parent, like if single parents were just having like in a group chat with each other. But at the end of the day, the main goal is just to bring people together. Small groups also compete with each other. That is very important because that just helps them work on their like any set of skills that they may have. They train and practice, and then at the end of the day, when they feel good enough, they can like show off their particular skills. And also, just being a part of a small group helps us learn. And all of us have been part of small groups where we studied and learned from each other. And being in small groups can help us enhance our critical thinking and our skills, and it can benefit us when we're taking tests or just we're in a particular activity, and it can help us physically, emotionally, or mentally.
So, we as people join and leave many small groups throughout our lives. The first small group that we all join is our family, whether that be through birth or adoption. So, why is it that we join small groups? There are four main reasons: belonging, protection, improvement of effectiveness, and pressure. The first being belonging. We as human beings are very social creatures. We don't just want to socialize, we need to socialize. It helps provide us comfort and a feeling of fitting in when we go to new places. For example, if a student went to a new school and he joined the basketball team, he could find a sense of comfort and belonging on that in that small group. And next is protection. Protection could be physical, emotional, or social. There is safety in numbers, and that is very much true in small groups. For example, if a person in a small group were to be bullied or harassed, a small group may walk with them places, and this could help provide them with physical, emotional, or social safety. And the third one is improvement of effectiveness. This is improving skills through learning from others or encouragement. This could happen through a workout small group that you join. You could learn different workout moves from people in your group, or you could be encouraged by those in your group for you to better yourself. And the last one is pressure. This is joining a small group not by choice. This could be by force, or this could be by pressure. So this could be like a required small group. Maybe in a class, your teacher assigns you to a small group. That would be a pressure joining. This could also be if all of your friends join a group, and so you decide to join that group because all of them were doing it. Those are examples of pressure. This is not necessarily a negative or a positive thing, despite the negative connotation around the word pressure. So now that we've learned how to join these groups, there are 5 steps of socializing in these groups. The first step is the antecedent phase. This is before joining. These are any pre-thoughts or feelings you have about small group work. This could be if you worked in 3 different small groups before and you had to do all the work, or you were really confused. You might have a negative feeling towards small group. And that is what you take with you when joining this new small group. The second phase is the anticipatory phase. This is the deciding phase. This is your thoughts and feelings on the people in your group. This could be thoughts and feelings that you had from previously working with them, or this could be thoughts and feelings that you've heard from other people from working with them. The third is the encounter phase. This is joining the small group. And the fourth is the assimilation phase. This is accepting culture. This is learning the norms of the group and joining in on those norms. And the last phase is the exit phase. This is leaving a small group. So this is how we join small groups and socialize within these small groups. So now let's take a look at some of the ups and downs we may experience being a part of small groups by looking at the advantages and disadvantages of small group learning.
So throughout small group communication, there's many advantages and challenges. An example that they used in the textbook was the Avengers. The Avengers are a tight-knit group who respect and support each other, just as they were siblings. And just being a sibling, there comes conflict. Different personalities, competing egos, unique powers, each part causes wear and tear on each other's nerves. So starting off with the advantages, small groups provide resources. With coming together to accomplish a common goal takes resources. With a common goal comes the opportunity to combine a variety of resources. And the more resources at our disposal comes an easier time reaching the goal. They experience synergy, and the definition of synergy is a collaboration that produces more than the sum of its parts. Considering the Avengers are all bringing different opportunities and resources to the table, the collaboration of different parts creates types of synergy that supports accomplishing the common goal. Another advantage is they expose us to diversity. So bringing a diverse group of people together offers a variety of different available resources, such as ideas, experiences, insights, and values to the table. The expression "two heads are better than one" is a great example of this concept. The most important advantage to small group diversity is the opportunity to be exposed to new ways of thinking that are not similar to your own. So then there's challenges. Starting off with the first challenge is sacrifices. So they require many sacrifices. When getting in a small group together, it's harder to show commitment to the group, and many times are required for the benefit of the group. So some members will participate in a concept called social loafing. Social loafing means some people contribute less to the group than the average member. This tends to happen more often when the group increases in size. They can experience conflict. When combining a diverse group into a small group comes conflicting opinions. Communication is a main part in small groups. The larger the groups, the less the communication. So the less the amount of communication comes more conflict. How groups handle conflict determines the success or failure of the group. Focusing on good communication techniques can aid to this challenge. The last challenge is it can be difficult to coordinate. There's many things going on in people's lives, so it makes it harder to find a time that everyone agrees on. But the smaller the group is, the less of the conflict. So dividing more work aid in these points of conflict would help out better. Coming back to the Avengers is a great example of all these topics of the small group communication. The Avengers is a team of superheroes that come together in a small group to protect the planet from all the threats. With a small group of big personalities comes conflict, though, and these big personalities are bound to cause conflict. These conflicting opinions is going to, without a doubt, wear in the nerves parts of the group. Their communication is strong, and it's a big part of their group. So with good communication, the group will provide synergy along with positive resources and diversity. With bad communication, it will come conflict and coordinate challenges and more sacrifices. If all these topics are acknowledged and respected, the group is bound to excel at a small group communication, leading to the most elite team of superheroes on the planet. So if you listen to all these advantages and challenges of being in a small group, hopefully you can understand now how to become a better small group communicator.